Rules of integration. Integrating of expressions of the form in brackets ax plus b to the power n. Okay, my program didn't want it to put it there, but that also means to the power n. You will find this on page 316 in the Namibian AS-Level Mathematics textbook, y equals mx plus c to success. Integration of expressions of the form ax plus b in brackets to the power n. Now, in chapter 6, you learned the chain rule for differentiation. Now, let's just go through it again. Now, I was writing it in this format just to help you with the cancelling out. So, it's actually 1 over 10, and then it was 2x minus 3 to the power 5. That was what you should have differentiated. Now, how did I do that? The short way is we differentiate the outside. So that 5 minus 1, remember it's differentiation, that's why we subtract 1, that's 4, and we multiply with that 5 in front before we actually subtract the 1. And then that was the outside, we rewrite the bracket. And then we multiply by differentiating the inside. And what was it? If we differentiate this inside, we would just get 2. Okay, now this will give me, do you see that 5 cancel with that 5, that 2 cancel with that 2, and basically I will just be left with this. Okay, so hence this is equal to, so meaning that if I integrate this now, I will get this value before I differentiated it. Okay, now out of this, we must come to the rule, or we must see the rule. Now, how does it work? Now, if you look at this out of the rule, you will always say, okay, what did we do? We add 1 still, that's correct, and we divide still with that exponent that was added 1 to. Okay, but this a, where did that a come? It came from differentiating the inside. It was the value in front of x. Because, and I'll show it to you now, this rule only counts if that exponent there, that exponent must be a 1. Okay, so that was where, that is 1 over a, and a was the value in front of x. So it was that value there. Do you see that value? There was the value. And it's not multiply, but it's divide, the reverse, because integration is the reverse of differentiation. Okay, so let's summarize. I still add 1, then I divide by that, and then that value in front of x, I also divide by that. Okay, n may not be -1. Later we will come to this rule in another chapter. And a cannot be 0 there. Okay, so then the rule will also not work. So if I look at this one, okay, remember, I'm going to add 1 and I'm going to divide by that. Okay, and then the value in front of x, I'm just going to say 1 over that value. Okay, and then the plus c. So very important this, it only works for powers of linear functions. What does that mean? That just means it's to the power 1. Okay, the index of the unknown in the bracket must be 1. Okay, there it say. The rule will work for the function this, because look, the index is there 1. Let me see, yes, but it will not work, this rule will not work there, because what is the index? Inside the bracket, that will be 2. So the variable, the index of the variable inside the bracket must be 1, then the rule works. But if it's 2, then you cannot follow this rule. Okay, let's start. So in this case, if I look at this one and I'm going to integrate it, I'm just going to add 1 and I'm going to divide by that. There I add the 1, I just did it very long. And what is the value in front of x? No, not the value, not the constant, the value in the coefficient in front of x, it's 5. And then plus c. And then I can just simplify this. This is 8 times 5, which is 40 plus c, and that's the value. Okay, in this case, remember always the basics. We never work when it's in the denominator. We will always transfer it first to the numerator, becomes -6. And that 20 is just a constant. So just put it in front. In the end, we will multiply. So now it's -6 plus 1 which is -5, and that's also with what I was dividing there. And what, don't always the front, and it's nothing to do with the front or the back. It's the coefficient of x. And remember to grab that sign. It's -4. And now you can simplify. Now you can say, okay, this is going to be -5 times -4, which will also give me 20. It's a coincidence. Okay, and then this will cancel, and then I will just bring it down to make it positive. Usually, I don't know, I'm making the index, even if it's in the numerator, I make it positive. Okay, and then plus c. That's my final answer. Not so difficult. So remember, it's the reverse of the chain rule. It's almost like that. I want you to do A, which is very easy. And then I want you to do, which one will I do? Number D. Again, stop the video, and as soon as you are finished, you can continue the video. Let's start with number A. Okay, I'm going to integrate, oh, this pen. I'm going to integrate 3x plus 4, and that's to the power of 5 dx. Okay, so if I'm going to do that, I'm just going to say, okay, now let's just see. In this case, it's just keep the bracket, 3x plus 4. Okay, I add 1. So if I add 1, it's going to be 6, and I divide by 6. And then I multiply with the coefficient in front of x. So it's going to be 1 over 3. And don't forget your plus c, because there's no limits. It's always plus c. It could have been a constant that was just disappearing. And if I'm going to simplify this, I'm just going to keep it 3x, don't multiply out. And I'm just going to say 6 times 3, that will be 18 plus c. Okay, not difficult. Then I'm going to do number D. It's going to be 4 12x minus 13 to the power of 3. What's that number D? I just want to see. Yes. And then dx. And then as soon as okay, I'm going to first keep the integral sign because I must bring this bracket up. Okay, I'm going to redo the reason why. Sometimes it's good to put the 4 first there. It's not necessary. Then if the bracket is coming up, it's 12x minus 13 to the power -3 dx. And that is going to give me 4. Okay, it still stays there. I believe let's say multiply. Now it's going to be 12x minus 13. So -3 plus 1, it's -2. And I divide by that -2. And I multiply by that value in front of x. It's actually with the reciprocal, so it's 1 over 12. Okay, always 1. Because in the chain rule, it was multiplied. So now it's divide by 12. And now if I simplify all that things, I'm just going to simplify it like that. So 4 can go in 1, 4 can go in 3. So if I'm going to it's going to be a negative, you see. And then it's going, I'm bringing this one down, so there's nothing on top. Here's the pen story. Okay, there it works again. Okay, and then the negative is there or in front, it doesn't matter. And then it is 2 times 3 is 6. But please don't write the negative, either top, bottom, or in front. Both, it will work. And then the bracket is coming down, 12x minus 13. And that will be to the power of 2. I made a mistake in my step. Can you see my mistake? And I'm going to make it in red. As soon as I integrate, I must say plus c. Okay, so don't, it's very important. Don't bring it in here again. As soon as you integrate, already in that step, say plus c. and that will be my final answer. So the negative can be in front, there or there, but not more than one negative.